By the way, if anybody has questions later on, I'll talk to you individually.
What do you think is the future of televisions, or what is the future of big screens in people's living rooms?
Yeah.
I mean, Apple is trying it right now with me, and it's a good experience, and Google is trying it with Google TV, and it's very, I don't really think they're getting the point, but you know, it's still not really there yet. Do you think television will exist in 10 or 20 years, or do you think that will be just big living room computers?
Well, for about, I don't know, 10 years, we've been talking about the convergence of television, computers, other technologies, and pretty much it's been concluded. It will all wind up being on IP. It will all be an internet connection, basically, and your television signals come that way. All the cable companies have really acknowledged that and gone that way, at least in the United States. And how it's going to be implemented, it's now turning out, they're selling a bunch of TV sets nowadays that have the computer built in. They have apps built in, everything from Facebook to small email ones. So as you're watching TV, even with your TV remote control, you can access the internet and do the other things. And I call that the television watching in your living room, in a couch, whatever, has become the starting point, and the computer is part of it. But it's still based around television, not based around your computer is now bringing you to TV shows. And it's hard to say because I have young children. They were computer kids, so they always, all their television pretty much comes on the computer, but they send it up to a big display. But I think you'll actually buy television sets with the computer built in. The reason is anything that's electronic like computers, the chips and the parts that make it possible cost almost nothing. Almost nothing. It used to be that a phone cost a lot, a cell phone cost a lot, and a camera cost a lot. But then it came down to where, well, the camera now is only $1 worth of parts if you build $5 worth of parts if you build it into the phone. And so you can build all these devices into one so easily that the computer, being a part of the television sets have already become that way. Now that we have digital television. So more eventually, I think we're going to, just the standard networks that we're used to watching will just come over the internet. You'll subscribe to them. I'm hoping someday your subscription carries on your smartphone. So if you go to someone else's house, their fiber optic pipe or whatever to their home will display your shows because you paid for it. Your subscription really goes with wherever you are with your phone. That's a ways off.
Apple would certainly like that.
That's a ways off. Yeah, in the United States we don't quite get it. You have, smartphones that you can build things to, stuff they have in their laptop. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead.
Steve, my name is Reeds and I have a short question about processor architecture. Apple is aggressively moving to ARM-based processors designed by them in Samsung. Is there still a place for Intel in this all, or will there be an iMac with a quad-core, hexa-core ARM chip designed by Apple, like an A8 or an A6G?
I'd like the translation first.
The question primarily does concern computer architects, and processors have been designed different ways, and this company ARM developed processor technology that was very advanced, especially for getting the most work done with the least power. And that's what Apple is sort of using in its newer products. But we also run our same operating system on Intel chips in the full Macintosh-based computers, from our laptops to the desktop of power machines, and the iMac. And there's a place for both of them. Basically, a small bit of code called the kernel is the only difference between making either set work, either set of process work. As we go more and more mobile, though, we need more lower powered ones. Where will Intel come into that? It just depends on what their roadmap is.
All right, we have room for, I'm sorry, but the last one. 2 questions? Really? You can pay me afterwards. All right. 2 questions. But that's it, sorry.
Hi, my name is Maya, and we're setting up an international knowledge buffer with academics. And I was wondering, the fact that you were based in the US, if that has caused your success, so if the US is vital to your success, if there's anything you could advise to the Netherlands, for example, to make these things more possible or create more success out of this.
Yeah. Well, as we were working, on the early Apple days, I mean, I always thought, I was working at Hewlett Packard actually as a daytime job, designing the scientific calculators, and I was designing chips. And the chip technology, the papers that were written by physicists in Japan, say, their papers that were presented at conferences were really using exactly the same mathematics. They weren't quite making their chips as good as the U.S., the Silicon Valley companies, but they were just one step behind. So really the intelligence was worldwide, the ability to do these things. I never thought that Apple was something that you had to be in the United States to have done. You didn't have to be in Silicon Valley to do it. Microsoft really started off in some other small state, and but there are an awful lot of companies that did spring up in that area. We had constant influences, people to talk to, and what you were doing was good. You'd always talk technology, and you had a lot of parts sitting around in companies that you could put together into your own projects and see if they work. So I think it helped, but it wasn't critical.
All right, we've got 30 seconds left for the last question. Talk really fast.
Is there still a little workshop behind your house where some interesting things are going to come out? And is there still a link to Apple where those interesting things are?
I wish there were, not in my life. The internet caught up to me and I'm so busy answering email with friends, fans, whatever, all day long. I don't have time to be that type of deep engineer I was before. But whenever I get an idea, I can easily get parts, you know, little microprocessor. When I bought my Segway, it had chips that told it how fast to go and I wanted to change the codes. So I built my
All right.
you know, if I can, yeah.
Steve Wozniak, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for your awesome work and meaning for technology as a whole. I think everybody in this room will agree with me. Thank you for talking to us, and we're going to do some very exciting in a few seconds, but first I want to thank you for this interview and answering the question. Steve.
Official part of the ceremony, which is downstairs. We come close, ladies and gentlemen, because it's a very, very important moment. We are about to give the prize, the Wozniak Award 2010, to one of the Dutch students here in the audience. You initiated the prize back home in the United States to stimulate innovation, creativity among students in higher education, and today one of our Dutch students will be awarded with the Wozniak Award 2010 as well. May I welcome the jury of the Wozniak Award on the stage, Mr. Jeroen van der Veer, President of the platform Beta Techniek, Mr. Silvio Groot of the Dutch newspaper Metro, and PG Cooper, Editor-in-Chief of the magazine Science Guide. Please. There's only two of you. I'd like to invite Mr. Peter Kruger to tell us who is the winner of the Wozniak Award 2010.
Here we have the jury report, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we're most grateful to all people from universities, from industry, members of parliament, individuals who all came up with names, ideas, people. This is an award in which there are no losers. There are only winners, and the greatest winner of all is the Netherlands. Because today is the end of the sessiescultuur. We have three nominees. First of all, from the Leiden University, Reza Lakshakhtari, who made Mr. Wozniak an iPhone app. Wonderful. One of the best used iPhone apps. And it is something, if you walk through a street anywhere in the Netherlands, and he's hoping to do it now also in Barcelona, you can find out what's going on in the street, what is going on in the theater, where can I eat, where can I meet, things like that. Very, very practical, very in your spirit.
Where can I see a bullfight?
I think they abolished that in Catalonia. www.allaroundme.eu is where you can find it. The second, Rick Schuurman of the Han University of Applied Science, who has made a conversion kit for tuk-tuks. You know those rickshaw cars in Asia? There are 500 million of them, and they are so dirty. They are so bad for the environment. They're bad for people's lungs, but they transport people. He has made, with his friends, a tuk-tuk conversion kit, which, for instance, decreases 99% the microparticles which attack people's lungs. www.ecotuck.nl. And the third, Sandra da Cruz Martins of the HKU, Utrecht University of the Arts. She has made with her friends a game for people who have had strokes, elderly people who are very ill, and they have to rehabilitate and find ways to use their arms and their hands again, which is horrible to do, it's painful, it's boring. So they made a game which makes it fun for people. They even asked people from their art school to make music for it. So we have design, music, healthcare, IT, etc. 3 great nominees. So the jury was presented with a delicious, impossible trilemma. Not a dilemma, a trilemma. And we looked again at the norms and the ideas Steve Wozniak formulated for the winner. So we then came out to the winner. Because there is one innovation here, and therefore one innovator, which can be truly said to be of a global impact and of global importance. To combine technical set, intelligent imagination, entrepreneurial vision, cultural sensitivity, and a true identification with it, and knowledge of the opportunities and risks in the lives of millions of poor human fellow beings is exceptional. To invent as a Dutch student something like that, and convince from a small country, a huge nation like India, that this innovation is the best, is an outstanding achievement. The Wozzy Award 2010 goes to Rick Schuurman of the Haag University.
Rick Schuurman, dames en heren.
Oh, sure.
Vriend? Dat was ja, ik denk dat hij chauffeur is. Hij mag nu even.
Congratulations once more to the winner of the Wozniak Award 2010.
Well, I'm full of adrenaline, so very excited, yeah.
And were you going to use that adrenaline for in the future?
More improvements. Better improvements, yeah.
Better improvements. Ooh, congratulations once more. Steve Wozniak, Rick Schuurman.